All right, Last of Us season 2 trailer dropped today, so we're gonna go ahead and get right into it because I am excited for this.
You okay?
Yeah.
This is where we live. And what's that?
The fence.
And what's inside?
People.
What's outside?
Damn. Oh shit, it's abs.
Monsters.
Oh man, this gives me chills.
There's a very good chance you'll be dead.
You're gonna lose.
Don't you know what he did?
Wow.
You swore.
April 13th. All right, that looks absolutely incredible, man. One thing I can say is there's a lot of Joel in the trailer, which to me makes it seem as if they are not going to kill his character off, as it's obviously a really big series. And that's something that they're probably not going to want to do, as it really pissed the fans off from the actual game Last of Us 2. So they're probably trying to learn from that. I personally think, follow the source material. Source material is that Joe gets his ass kicked in the beginning of the game, and they kill him off. I think that's the route that they should go. Looking at this trailer, it does seem as if it's following the storyline of Last of Us Part 2, with the exception of lots of Joel. Now, it could be a whole bait and switch. Maybe they'll, because it's almost essentially what I feel like they did with the trailer before when the game first came out, was that they were showing Joel in the game in parts where he technically wasn't, because he was already dead in that portion of the storyline. So maybe they're doing that here, but I doubt it, because like I said, it's such a huge series that I think they'd be crazy to kill off his character. Plus, if they want to continue the storyline from Last of Us, for Last of Us Season 3, then we'll definitely need probably Joel in the storyline if they want to keep it going and not following the Last of Us Part 2 game. So it seems pretty interesting. I do like this. However, there is something that I do want to say about Last of Us Part 3, the game, and we're going to get into that article right now. Okay. So this article is from Game Rant. Again, this is a valid source, guys. Okay. I only go to the valid sources. All right. So if The Last of Us Part 3 never happens, several hanging plot threads can't go unanswered. So it says here, Neil Druckmann recently commented on the future of The Last of Us, but it may not be the news many fans want to hear. In an interview with Variety, Druckmann promoted the second season of The Last of Us, but when it comes to the games that started everything, Part 2 may ultimately be the end of the road. When asked about the possibility of a third game, Druckmann replied, "I guess the only thing I would say is don't bet on there being more of The Last of Us. This could be it. This could disappoint a lot of players, especially since Last of Us 2 ended on a massive cliffhanger. The fates of every major character are left hanging in the air, even Ellie's. As season 2 of The Last of Us draws closer, Druckmann's comments now hang over the show, raising many questions about whether those plot points will get resolved or not." So it says, answers to The Last of Us Part 2's ending may never come. The story of Ellie and Abby. After seeking revenge against Abby, Ellie returns to the farm to find Dina and JJ have left, their destination or whereabouts unknown. In Santa Barbara, Ellie lets Abby and Lev go, and the duo take an old lifeboat out to sea, presumably to Catalina Island. It remains unclear where Ellie and Abby ended up after their climactic showdown in Santa Barbara, but there are a few theories. When it comes to Ellie, many have hoped that the finale of her walking away from the farmhouse is a sign that she's headed back to Jackson, where Dina and JJ might be. Others theorize that she is headed off on her own, which would be a bleaker outcome, but a bummer of a storyline. Definitely isn't exactly something The Last of Us isn't afraid of. It's assumed that Abby and Lev made it safe to Catalina Island, since a Firefly outpost is believed to be there. However, it's a mystery if the radio transmission they picked up in Santa Barbara was actually a Firefly member or a rattler trying to lure them into a false sense of safety before being kidnapped. If there isn't a Last of Us Part 3, it may mean that fans might never get answers about whether Catalina Island was a legit spark of hope or not. Ellie and Abby are just the tip of the iceberg too. The fates of Tommy, Maria, Dina, and JJ have all been left unanswered. Most troubling of all, there still aren't concrete answers about Ellie's immunity or if a cure is even possible. Of course, the show gave its own explanation for her immunity, and that may ultimately be where these lingering questions finally get answered. Druckmann's co-writer Craig Mazin has stated that The Last of Us Part 2 is potentially going to span multiple seasons. If this is the case, then it's possible that unanswered story questions have yet to been answered in the games may get addressed in the show. This would potentially be quite controversial, but based on Druckmann's response to Variety, it could be the only way the plot threads get tied up. Right now, there is no way to be for sure how Druckmann will handle the post-apocalyptic world he created. It's quite possible that Last of Us Part 2 remains an open-ended story until more is known. Fingers are crossed that The Last of Us Part 3 still happens eventually. So there you have it. All right. Last of Us Season 2, which is coming out April 13th. And then the comment from Neil Druckmann that states that don't bet on there being a Last of Us Part 3. Now, I saw this coming, and I only say that because I feel that Neil Druckmann possibly wants the storyline to continue over multiple seasons of the actual TV show rather than the game. Seeing as Naughty Dog is creating a brand new game, which I think is called Intergalactic or something like that, they may not want to continue the storyline for Last of Us and instead just continue it in, the TV show. Now, as far as the all the theories of what happens at the end of Last of Us Part 2 and how they're going to handle that, I think the article is completely correct. I think what they're going to do is they're going to take that and they're going to run with it in the TV series, and they're going to close all those loopholes up. And that way, once we get into a season 3, they can pretty much do whatever it is that they want to do, and pretty much that's going to be our game. That's going to be the TV show, and they can run it as long as they want. Basically, they can milk it to the end, because that's what it's all about these days, is taking stuff that people love and adore and milking it until the end, until people can't stand it anymore. Now, I know Last of Us Part 2 is a very polarizing game, and I am on that end of the spectrum where I absolutely loved it. I think it is a phenomenal game. And I think the way that the game ended was absolutely perfect. I think, with the fight between Ellie and Abby, and Abby just and Ellie sparing Abby's life, kind of pretty much just saying, like, I've seen what you did. I've seen how you ruined, the family that I had. And I'm not going to do that with you. I'm going to spare your life, and I'm going to move on, and I'm going to go back to my family, potentially. We have to see how that turns out. But I don't know, man. I think the trailer looks absolutely great. I think it looks really great, in fact. But you can see that there's a lot of Joel in this trailer. And like I said, unless it's a bait and switch, unless, Neil Druckmann's like, okay, we're gonna bait and switch again, we're gonna kill him off in the storyline, but I don't think that's happening. I think what they have with this TV series is gold. So the one way to utilize that is to keep Pedro Pascal in the series so that they can continue the series as long as they'd like. And then again, with that, they can create a brand new storyline. I wish that we would get, a conclusion to this game. I don't want to just sit here and believe like, okay, this is what I think happens. I'd like to think that Ellie goes back with Dina and JJ to be happy for the rest of her life. But you never know if that's what happens. And the only way to find out is to actually see what happens in the finale of the season 2 TV series. And then hopefully if we get a season 3, we can see more on that and see what truly happens. But all in all, I think, it's good news. It's sad news. I mean, the fans out there who want more of The Last of Us, you have the TV series. The fans out there who want the game, that's the sad part. We may not potentially get it. And if Naughty Dog is working on this new game, this new IP, and it turns out to be fantastic, we might never see Last of Us Part 3 get greenlit. It's just something that unfortunately might not happen. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you like the idea of, season 3 picking up where Last of Us Part 2, the game, left off? Do you like the idea that Joel might not actually be killed off in the series? What do you think of the trailer? And make sure that you guys like the video. Also hit the subscribe button if you like what I do, and make sure you hit the notification bell. That way every time I go live and or upload, you will get notified. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.